This week on Adjusting, we are kicking off the 12-week series about cognitive distortions with my personal favorite, all or nothing thinking. We're calling out your brain's most dramatic performance yet. Ever convince yourself that you're a complete failure because of one typo? Or you've convinced yourself that you're definitely getting fired because your boss seems very quiet? Yeah, that's all or nothing thinking. And it's got your brain working overtime. So today we are exposing this sneaky thought pattern and rewiring our caveman's brain's way of thinking. And I'll share 5 game changing tools to help you flip the script. Because let's face it, you can live between perfection and disaster. That is where the magic happens. So grab your emotional support blanket, your journal, your pens, your matcha, and let's dive in. Welcome to Adjusting. Welcome back to season 3 of Adjusting Podcast with your host, Justin G. Nelson. It has been a long break. I am sorry about that. December was weird. I had a lot of technical difficulties to the point where I just said, fuck it. So I'll try again in January. January started off with a lot of travel and no downtime to really sit and record. I am working on batching more and just having everything prepped and ready to go so that we don't have to do week by week. But sometimes I like doing week by week because life happens and I get more stuff from therapy or from books I'm reading and lived experiences. And I'm just like, oh, this would be great to talk about this week. But, we'll find a good balance there. But welcome back to season 3 with your host, Justin G. Nelson. If you're new here, hi. Thank you for wanting to do the work to make the adjustments in your life so that you can live the life you deserve. Okay, because we're not coming into this space or this era. I don't want to say year because I don't know when you're listening to this, but come into this season of your life not ready to level up. A lot of people are living as an old version of themselves, and we're not doing that anymore. We're adjusting, we're making changes, and we're doing better. All right. So before we get too far in the episode, a little changes, for this season. I am editing the episodes. TJ is off doing his musical theater things and he is booked and busy. Okay. So I am taking on the editing role and I am proud to launch my company, Pacific Cup Studios, that houses all of my brands and projects. So if you saw the logo at the beginning of the video, that is Pacific Cup Studio. It is my company. So I'm trying to, be more business minded with my content. So you can follow that page and get everything you need to know. I will do better with my adjusting affirmations. I have moved adjusted perspectives underneath Pacific Cup Studio on Substack, so you'll get everything there. Someone made a comment that my intros are too long, so that's it. Okay, anything else you want to know, DM me, leave a comment. But before we get into this topic, this 12-week series that I am working on about cognitive distortions, we're going to ground ourselves. Okay, so I'm inviting you to take a sacred breath. I don't know if you've been doing your breathing exercises during this long time apart, but today we're getting back to it. Okay, so if you're driving, please focus on the road. Okay, I've watched too many horror and thriller films to know what happens. So focus. If you are home or you have a second to just get grounded for this episode, I invite you to do so now. So I ask that you relax your feet, ground your feet, sit up tall, or just pause washing dishes, and just feel your toes getting grounded in the floor. Relax your ankles, relax your shins, relax your knees, relax your thighs and your hips, relax your stomach, relax your chest, relax your shoulders, relax your neck, Relax your ears, your chin, your cheeks, your nose, your eyebrows. Close your eyes. Relax your forehead. And we're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and release for 8. All right? So let's begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let it all out. Just let it all out. Okay. Next breath, we're just going to do a simple inhale and exhale, and we're going to dive into this episode. You ready? Breathe in and out. Oh, great. Okay, great. So this season of adjusting is all about cognitive distortions. Well, the first 12 episodes, like I said, there are so many, but I'm only going to talk about 12. And these 12 were introduced to me in therapy. And I was just like, oh, there's a word for this. There's a word for everything. And that's what I love about living. You know, you learn words and you're able to put it in a container. Remember that container episode we talked about? And you can compartmentalize things and know, oh, okay, this is what's happening. These are the tools I'm building up to deal with this thing. So cognitive distortion is basically a fancy way of saying the lies your brain is telling you. The brain is powerful. And trauma has a way of rewiring your brain to make anxiety feel like it's running the course, or it's the leading the pack, if you will. Okay. And today we are starting with one of the most popular, if not the head villain of it all or nothing thinking. So it's like your brain feature that says you're either crushing it, you're killing it, you are thriving, or you are complete trash. You're garbage. You suck. All or nothing. No in between allowed. So if you ever bombed something in your life and you just want to do over, and you got 99%, like I think I told y'all a while back, like I got a C on something in elementary school. I failed. I failed because I got a C. Or you fixate on just the smallest of inconveniences. Like I had a typo in a flyer I made, and I was like, this is the worst flyer ever. If any of these scenarios resonates with you, this episode is for you. So grab some coffee. Okay, grab your adjusting notebook. I'm going to make some adjusting notebooks. If you want a notebook, comment notebook below, and I'm going to work on that this year. And let's sit down and have this conversation about all or nothing thinking. So the first part is addressing the topic. What is all or nothing thinking? So let's break it down. So picture this again. Your brain is like that dramatic friend who sees everything as either the best thing ever or the absolute worst. There's literally no in between, no chill ground. It's like that black or white thinking, and there's no gray. And I know a lot of people tend to say, well, that gray is the danger zone. Like, you need to be assertive, you need to know exactly what you want. I think the gray area sometimes is that space where we are allowed to have curiosity. And we're allowed to explore, allowed to fail with the notion that we will get back up. But with the black and white thinking, this polarized thinking, in all honesty, it's just your brain being extra. Like, when you send that one text message with a typo, or you're flirting and you're trying to flirt and send that one emoji, like that wink eye, but you send a side eye. You're just like, oh, like now this person thinks I'm bipolar. Like, nothing wrong with being bipolar. But what you mean? Like, what you crying for? That kind of thing. And then you're like, okay, great. They're not interested in me anymore. Red flag. I'm unstable. So here are some more examples that maybe will resonate with you. So tell me if this has happened. Leave it in the comment. You're doing great on your eating plan, feeling yourself, seeing the progress. The number is going down. Okay, gains are coming in. The butt is looking like a butt again. All right. And you eat that one cookie. You had that one sweet treat. And now you're like, I'm never gonna lose weight. I'm fat. I look a mess. Baby, you had one cookie. See, if your trainer or whatever app you're using didn't factor in a cheat meal or a sweet treat, it's your fault. Okay? Don't blame it on that cookie. Insomnia, crumble, unsponsored, has nothing to do with that. Or how about when you're giving a presentation at work and everything's going smooth. The slides are sliding. Okay. The graphics are bam, bam. The facts. You're giving side notes. You're giving all these things. And you pronounce one word wrong. And now you feel like everybody think you stupid. It happens. It happens. Where's the grace? Okay. Where's the gray area? Like it's fine. Or okay, one more thing. You and your partner have one argument about whose turn it is to do the laundry or take out the trash. And your brain immediately jumps to this relationship is doomed. We are completely incompatible. And I should get back on the apps. Y'all, you know what? Like, okay, gender roles, gender rules, gender norms. That's like a little cliche at this point. Just take out the trash. Okay? Because there are some couples, the woman don't like to cook, but they like to wash dishes. And the man loves cooking, but hate washing. Like, let's just find a balance as you communicate and grow. So for my creatives, we can relate to this. You've posted one piece of art and it didn't get engagement. And you're like, well, I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to make it as a content creator. I'm never going to be seen and have that viral moment because people think that I am not good enough. Or you write for 3 hours and you post on Substack, you post on LinkedIn, you post wherever you post, and it gets no engagement. And now you're like, oh, people don't take me serious. People aren't, ready for my work. And I'm just like, they are, but like, as a creative, there's a consistency element that goes into the art of growing. And yeah, it takes time. It takes time, but I get it. You want immediate gratification, and it's like that dopamine thing that we talk about sometimes. But I think we just have to rewire the brain from that. And then for people who are dating, I'm trying to get back into dating in this season, y'all. So you're gonna hear some dating stuff in here. The first date wasn't fireworks. Okay, no chemistry, no biology, no nothing. It was trash. It was horrible. And then after that, you immediately think, I'm just gonna be single for the rest of my life. No one wants me. No one's interested in me. I'm just going to get a cat. Not me, because I'm allergic to cats, but I'll get a fish or an iguana. I like those. And, they never text you back. You don't hear anything else. They never said it was a bad date. You just went in straight into all or nothing thinking mode and just said, no, it's me. It's me. Like, they don't like me. So let's work on some shifting in this narrative of it all. You can literally hear it in the words you use. It's said always and never stuff. Like, I always screw this up. Did you though? Always. Every single time did you? No, you didn't. Okay. Every single time you think of that, you're just like, it's always me. Or everyone thinks I'm weird. Do they? Did everyone tell you that they thought you were weird? Or you're just making this up again? Listen for yourself. Saying these things are like ruined or perfect, and a huge red flag that your brain's gone black and white. Okay, so those trigger words for like the all or nothing thinking category, listen to that. Listen to how often you use that and figure out what the root is. Figure out how you got here. Is it childhood trauma? Is it that your community, your circle is trash and they feed off of that because they feed off of lowering your self-esteem and your worth because it brings them more worth? Exactly. So, part 3, adjusting to this distortion. Let's talk about the understanding and the healing of it all. So, here's where it gets juicy. Okay. Here is where we get to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about how this shows up when you're trying to heal. You know what's messed up? You'll be in therapy. You'll be doing the work. You're reading the books. You're journaling. You're meditating. You're doing your 4-7-8 breathing. You're not doom scrolling. You're doing all these things. And then you have one hard day. And your brain is like, see, all it ain't working. That journaling not working. Ain't nobody listen to journal. Those crystals, they're demonic. You need to just throw those away. Don't do that. Don't throw the crystals away. Or you're working on boundaries. You set one boundary that comes out a little harsh, and then suddenly you're like, okay, maybe that was mean. I'm a little mean now. Like, who am I becoming? Calm down. That's what you need. You're becoming. Calm down. Great. And don't get me started on relationships. You're trying to heal from the attachment stuff, the anxious attachment, the avoiding attachment. You're being more aware. You're doing shadow work. And you get triggered one time because they don't respond fast enough. And boom, I'm too damaged for love. I should just invest in some sex toys and just be all by myself. Yeah, it's just like, no one signed you up for that. With creatives, this distortion, all or nothing thinking becomes brutal. Okay, you're comparing your rough draft, your first page, to a New York Times bestseller. You're comparing your script, your audition book, your monologue to someone's Tony Award speech. Like, damn, calm down, Savannah. It's like you get rejected for one opportunity, and decide this is not the industry for me. So here's the thing. Every creative you admire has a graveyard full of failed projects. Every single one of them. Viola Davis, Taraji B. Henson, Denzel Washington, like all of these people, they have a closet full of rejection and horror stories and all those things. I'm pretty sure they have a book that talks about these things. Read the book. Read a book again. Okay? But why this hits different if you are going through some stuff. So real talk. If you've experienced trauma, your brain is basically stuck in protective mode, like an overprotective parent who won't let you ride a bike because you might fall. I mean, that parent wants you to have helmets. Okay, 2 helmets, not one, 2 of them. One on your forehead and your back head, okay? They want you to have the knee pad, shoulder pad, neck pad, chest pad, okay? They want you in the full armor of God on that bike before you go outside. They might as well put you in a bubble and put you on a treadmill and say, go. But that is how trauma shows up sometimes. It's especially brutal if you grew up in a house where love felt unconditional. Where love felt conditional, like you had to be perfect to be worthy of affection. Your nervous system, that is one of my goals for this year, is to figure out ways to reverse and heal my nervous system because I am guilty, okay? My nervous system is shot. But anyway, your nervous system learned there were only 2 settings, safe or dangerous, loved or abandoned, good or bad. And for my people pleasers, what's up? I see you. Your brain literally cannot compute being a good person who sometimes disappoints people. Does not compute. Error 404. It's not there. So what is this actually costing you? You become paralyzed. Right. You can't do it perfectly. Why even try? So you don't. You don't. You stay stuck. Creatives, how many projects have you not started because everything your all your ducks weren't in a row? Okay, there was one duck running around in a circle, one duck flat on its side, one duck was smaller than the other duck. So now you think you need smaller ducks. Or how many second dates have you not gone on because the first date wasn't a rom com meet cutie like the books I be reading back here? Okay, those are books. Those are books. Your body is exhausted. I feel like I'm yelling at y'all, but I'm passionate about this, okay? Your body is exhausted because every tiny decision feels like life or death. Should I post this? Should I make it private? Am I sharing too much? Should I text them? Why are the stakes so goddamn high? Lower them. You can't learn anything new because being bad at something feels unbearable. I'm holding your hand. Remember, when you were a kid and sucking at stuff was just part of the process, let's get back to that. Let's get back to the art of just being basic and just figuring things out as you go. Let's get back to the ABCs of living, shall we? Because you didn't know how to do a full equation before you knew how to identify what a number was. So give yourself some grace. Jeez. So here's what I need you to understand about healing when it comes to all or nothing thinking. Progress, my God, progress looks like a toddler drew it. It's all over the place. It ain't cute. It's not those, I knew I was like, had a little tism when the only coloring books I like were the ones that were color by number. It gave me some type of structure. I knew red was 1, blue was 2, green was 3. Okay? If I ain't had them colors, I wasn't coloring in that book. But when it comes to progress, it is all over the place. There's probably crayon on the wall, but in somebody's eye, it is still art. Your parents, if they were real proud of you, they hung that shit up. Okay, look at my baby Drew. Oh, I'm so proud of him. It don't look like nothing, but they drew it. And I'm going to acknowledge this as art so that they are proud of what they did. You are allowed to be multiple things at once. And it can look like healing and struggling, talented and learning, ready for love and scared. The gray area isn't the scary void. It's literally where all of life happens. It's where the magic happens. It's where curiosity is birthed. It's that perfectionism you're carrying. Throw it away. Throw it away. It is weighing you down. That's fear just wearing a power suit. It's fear that went to business school. Okay? F perfectionism. So we're going to apply these methods. All right, moving on to section 4, serving your future self. We're still building this structure of the whole you pyramid, even in season 3. So let's talk about shifting this pattern to actually serve the future you. The thing about your future self is they need you to start practicing now. Like I get my best friend Ebony said to me a couple of days ago, she was like, something's different about you. Like this year you have been on it. Like you're posting consistently. We're always working on something, but you're always taking breaks. Like you're resting more. You went to these conferences. You're setting more boundaries. What's going on? I said, baby, I'm 36. I am 36 and I've realized there are a lot of goals that I haven't hit yet because I got too complacent and too wrapped up in that coat of perfectionism. And at some point, I needed to let that shit go. There are so many people, this is going to get dark. So many people I have lost in like the first 24 days of this year. Not necessarily to death, but rest in peace to my 3 friends that I did lose, but also just as a friend. Like, we need to grieve these friendships, but also thank you, bye. Because you really weren't serving me anything but a waste of time. Okay. And while I don't regret what we built, it wasn't serving my future self. Okay. So, anyway, back to this. You need to start practicing now. Practicing nuance now, like future you is begging current you to stop this all or nothing thinking nonsense because it's keeping you stuck in patterns that aren't serving your dreams. So let's flip it. Here are a few methods. You can take one and make it homework for the rest of the season of your life, whatever you want to do. But method one is the 80-20 future rule. So here's what future you needs to know. 80% effort consistently beats 100% effort. Okay? So if you are showing up 80% of the time, you are doing better than most people in America. When you're creating something, ask, would future me rather have 10 imperfect finished pieces or one perfect piece I never complete? In dating, would future me rather go on 5 pretty good dates to find connection or wait for one perfect person to magically appear? Start training your brain that either that B plus or that C minus I got at elementary school work that exists is better than A plus work that doesn't. Your future creative self needs a portfolio, not perfection. Your future partner self needs practice being vulnerable, not a perfect track record. Number 2, the growth timeline. So picture yourself in 5 years, 2 years, 5 months to end of this year, whatever. Seriously, close your eyes and see them. Now ask, what would that version of me tell current me about this failure? Future you is like, girl, I don't even remember that typo, but I do remember that project that led to the next opportunity. Create a literal timeline where you are now and where you'll be in a year, 5 years. Okay, plot your failures on it. Watch how tiny they become. That rejection letter, child, it led you to something better. Perfect. Okay. So method 3, the experiment mindset. Start treating everything as data for future you, not pass or fail tests. This date was awkward. That becomes great. I learned something I need to work on. Okay, I suck at small talk, but if I have a few questions that I like to ask to get to know someone, that'll be better for the next date. Boom. This creative piece flopped. That becomes, okay, interesting. Now I know my audience doesn't resonate with this style as a content creator. Okay, maybe they like me in the video. Maybe they don't want to see my face. Maybe I should post this on Sundays. Adjust, pivot to the things. Yeah. So start a experiment journal. Today I tried X. Here's what happened. Here's what I learned for next time. Bada boom, bada bing. Number 4, the compound effect flip. Your brain thinks one mistake ruins everything, but flip it. One small good thing compounds 2. Future you isn't built on perfect days. They're built on 1% improvements. Write one imperfect sentence daily. Future you has a book. Ooh, see, that's the thing. We try to treat, having a moment. We try to treat our rough drafts as a finished product. Stay with me. But sometimes we need the rough drafts to see where our heart is going, where our mind is going. It's kind of like a brain dump. But once we get the rough draft, there's always the editing phase. But some of y'all are skipping the editing phase trying to go to publish. No. We're going to slow down. We're going to slow down with this compound effect flip, okay? When it comes to post one imperfect piece of art weekly. Future you has an engaged audience. It might be a little clickbaity, okay? Some people just like, are they doing this on purpose? No, I'm doing this to heal. Shit. Either you gonna support me or not. Ask yourself, what would happen if I did this imperfectly but consistently for a year? And the last one is the future self letter. Once a week. This is kind of artist way-ish. Artist way-ish. Sorry. I didn't complete it because I get overstimulated having to write 3 pages a day. I think that's a lot. But Write a letter from your future self to your current you. Have your future self say these things. Thank you for trying, even when it wasn't perfect. That's why I'm here now. Mhm. Remember when you thought that one rejection meant you never make it? Look at us now. I'm so glad you didn't wait until you felt ready. Turns out we figured it out along the way. This rewires your brain to see current struggles as future wins. Okay. So I'll post some deeper dives and more resources that support topics in this episode on my bookshelf in the back. I have attached, and it's a heavy book, and I don't want you to overburden yourselves with these things. But yeah. So my beautiful people out there, that's our deep dive for all or nothing thinking. Your homework, and you can have asked this, okay? We're 80% imperfect, okay? Is to catch yourself using extreme language this week. Just notice it. Don't judge it. Just give it its time, give it its moment, give it its essence, and then just keep going, okay? Embrace the gray, not the hair, but the moments, the gray space, if you will. You contain multitudes, not just two options. So next week, will we talk about catastrophizing, when your brain jumps straight into everyone will die mode from a missed phone call. Until then, exist in the mess of the all or nothing thinking and keep adjusting. Until next time, bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.